Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com, where we are back on the couch. It is officially Friday night, so it's time for another weekly movie review. First off, I want to point out two things. Check them out. Busting out my LeBron 8 entourages. It's my second time actually wearing them. I love them, love them, love them. Truly, if you've never worn a pair of LeBron 8s, they're one of the most comfortable shoes ever. The 360 Air Packet is just incredible. So if you don't have a pair, I totally recommend them. And these ones I love just because of the colorway. Love Entourage. So loving these. These are in my top 5 favorite pickups for 2012. But we'll get to that at the end of the year. Also, I want to shout out my new EXO shirt I got at the Weekend concert here 2 nights ago. If you haven't checked it out already, go back and check out my full recap of the show from seeing the Weekend here at Celebrity Theater. Amazing, amazing, amazing show. If you're not familiar with the Weekend, go check them out. I might even put a link to some videos, or just go check out that video because I put some links in the description there. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get right to it. Well, as you guys know, I'm in Arizona, and I've been ridiculously busy. Been helping my mom's company out, doing all kinds of stuff. So I haven't really had a whole lot of time to just sit around and watch a movie. In fact, I haven't really had any time at all. So wanted to change it up a little bit. As you guys know, my mom's and I, well, our whole family, we watch a lot of movies at the theater. So since I wasn't able to see a movie, I figured I would do a theater trip to the movies double feature, since we were able to see 2 flicks over this past week. First off, we'll actually start with one that we went and saw today, and then I'll go to the one that we saw earlier in the week. So today we actually went and saw, it just came out, the newest Ben Affleck movie that he produced, directed, and starred in, kind of like he did with The Town, that of Argo. Now, Argo is essentially a movie about a fake movie, as weird as that sounds. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, back in 1979, the U.S. Embassy in Iran was taken over, and the 50 people inside were held hostage in an attempt to force the U.S. hand at releasing the previous Shah of Iran, who was taking asylum from being exiled in the United States. During the takeover of the embassy, 6 embassy workers, U.S. citizens, escaped. And this is essentially the story of bringing them back. And really, it was a very well done movie. Stars, like I said, Ben Affleck, as well as Bryan Cranston, who has really been riding the wave since Breaking Bad and killing it in everything he does, as well as Alan Arkin and John Goodman, who put on a lot of weight for this role. Oh, he was looking big, 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 big. And it was a very interesting movie because it wasn't really a movie that you would put into any one category, because it wasn't an action movie, even though there were elements of action in it. It wasn't a drama movie, even though there were elements of drama. It wasn't really a character study, even though there was tons of character study in it. So it was a very interesting movie from that aspect of how it kind of fit together. It wasn't the norm. But Ben Affleck plays a CIA agent who specializes in hostage extraction, person extraction. Bryan Cranston plays his senior officer or commanding officer in the CIA. And then John Goodman and Alan Arkin both are the Hollywood contingent of the movie. John Goodman plays in the movie a Academy Award-winning makeup artist, and the idea randomly pops into Ben Affleck's head about why don't we get these hostages out as a movie team. They tried to put all these different cover stories and possible extraction plans and all this crazy stuff. At one point, they had one thought process was to give them all bikes and have them bike 350 miles in the snow-covered mountains to get to the Turkey border. So just some crazy stuff. Until they finally came up with this idea of a movie crew. But the Republican Guard of Iran isn't dumb. Most everybody in it was educated in America or England, Europe, so they had to put some work into it. And that's really where the meat and the bones of this movie come in. So, first off, the CIA reaches out to this movie production company to figuring out what we have to do. First person to talk to is John Goodman. Then they bring in Alan Arkin, who is a producer, and then everything really comes together. Now, it's all based on a true story, so if you were around at that time of the American history, or have read about it, or have done some research on it, you know how it ends. I'm not going to give it away for those of you who haven't seen it, but most everybody knows how it ends. But even though you know how it ends, it is still incredibly suspenseful. They still did a very good job of keeping you on the edge of your seat, literally until the last second. And I really think that is a very impressive thing for a movie to do when you know the outcome. You know what's going to happen, yet you still are, oh, what's going to happen, So I thought that was very well done. And it was very interesting from the levels of tension that were in there. From just the basic tension of if these 6 people are caught, they're going to die. If Ben Affleck's character is caught, he's going to die. To the element of the people who took them in at first were 2 Canadian nationals. So that element of if they get caught, they're going to die. To their housekeeper, who's an Iranian girl, where she's battling with that, do I turn them in? Because that's what it says to be a, friend of Iran, or do I not? Because I know they're going to get killed. So it really had a lot of elements to it, and was very well done. I thought it was going to be a good movie, but I was very impressed with it. It definitely wasn't one that has a lot of rewatchability, in my opinion, but it was very well done as what it was. And I gotta say, Ben Affleck's done some pretty solid movies recently. Pretty impressed after his run of things straight to the crapper. He's definitely turned it around a little bit, so gotta give him a shout out. But overall, it's tough for me because I really wish I did like quarter stars, because to me, this is definitely a 3 3/4 star movie. It was better than a 3.5 star movie, but in my opinion, it wasn't quite a 4-star. Well, I guess I could give it a 4-star movie, but then the problem is the next movie I'm telling you about, I'm almost compelled to give it a 4.5-star movie when I don't think it quite earned it. So we'll go ahead and give it a 4-star movie. Solid, very, very well done movie. It was also co-produced by George Clooney, so that's always kind of cool when you see, big actors hopping in on the production level. So overall, we'll give it 4 stars. Definitely worth checking out, in my opinion. Keeps you on the edge of your seat, keeps you guessing until the very end with some nice twists and turns. So that is part 1 of this review and recap. That was for the Ben Affleck movie Argo, which, in case you were wondering, that's actually the name of the movie in the movie. So that gets us to our second film for review, which I saw earlier in the week and was very happy I saw it. It is the newest Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis, and Emily Blunt film, Looper. Also starring Jeff Daniels and Piper Perabo from Covert Affairs, and also originally Coyote Ugly, I believe. Never saw it, but whatever. So this has been getting tons of buzz. I think it has like a 96% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really impressive for anybody who follows Rotten Tomatoes. But the basic, it's a tough movie to give you the idea of, but I will do my best. Without seeing it, you won't grasp everything. So in the future, and this takes place, I want to say in like 2074 or something. In the future, time travel has been discovered, but it ends up being such a meteoric discovery, and it ends up being so devastating in a negative way that it is completely banned. And the only people who actually have the ability for time travel is all controlled by the mob. So the mob has essentially come up with an ingenious way of killing people. In the future, it's pretty much impossible to get rid of dead bodies. Between tracking chips, implanted devices, fingerprints, all kinds of stuff. So what they do is when they need somebody killed, they throw them in this little pod, zap them back into the future, goes back 30 years, 40 years, whatever, and they appear in front of this looper who proceeds to demolish them with a blast from their blunderbuss shotgun, and they are then disposed of, and a person has essentially been erased from the future, if you will. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays one of these loopers who are a rather renegade band of guys. They're all controlled by Jeff Daniels, who was actually sent from the future to run everything for the mob. Well, these guys just party. They take this drug that they drop droplets into their eyes. From what they acted it out, it seemed like it was like a combination of like a coke / ecstasy type of drug, and they take it pretty much every night. They drink, they party, they have sex. The future looks a lot like now, except a lot dirtier, and kind of if you took Amsterdam and made it to the world. That's kind of what it seems like. So each time that they kill somebody, they get a certain amount of silver for it, which they then cash in and essentially continue living their life. Well, the only major rule of being a looper is you never, ever let your target get away, and you always kill your target no matter who it is, even if it's yourself. That is something called closing the loop. And essentially, at any given time, your future self will show up, you shoot him, you get this huge pack of gold, and that is essentially your buyout. And you know that you then have 30 years before your life ends. So really in itself is a pretty cool idea, starting off. So we see Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a looper, and one by one, each one of these loops is getting closed until finally Joseph Gordon-Levitt is one of the last loopers still around in this city. Well, of course, he shows up one day and ready to do his job and finds his future self zapped in front of him. And through a rather accidental kind of perfect storm of events, his future self, played by Bruce Willis, gets away. And that's when all hell breaks loose. And essentially, Jeff Daniels is hunting him down to kill him and his future self. Now, the other aspect to this, in addition to the poverty-stricken people, the hookers, the loopers, you also have a group of people called the Gap Men. Gap Men carry around these old-school Colt revolvers, old .44 Magnums, and they're essentially a renegade band of police. They dole out justice old mob style. Essentially, when a looper can't do something or a looper messes up, the Gap Men come after them. So once Joseph Gordon-Levitt lets his future self go, he now has to worry about his future self trying to kill him, as well as the Gap Men trying to kill him. Plus, possibly other loopers, if they see him, trying to get in good with Jeff Daniels, whatever. And it gets crazy. So essentially, they find out that the person who's shutting down all these loops is this guy named the Rainmaker. And I don't want to give too much away, but you then find out that Bruce Willis, I almost called him Bruce Wayne, has come back to the future to find and kill the Rainmaker. And oh, do things get crazy. Emily Blunt's character is a ranch owner who lives outside of the city, which is actually Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it was, because they said, wow, Kansas City sure has changed. And she takes care of her kid out at this random ranch, and one day Joseph Gordon-Levitt stumbles to her ranch, and that's how she comes into the story. Another element is a lot of people in the future have TK abilities. They're telekinetic. So they can do all kinds of crazy stuff, make things float, all kinds of stuff, which really plays into the future. So it's kind of cool because you have all these different stories converging. You have Joseph Gordon-Levitt's story, who is just like an action story, which kind of almost turns into not a love story, because actually Bruce Willis is more of a revenge slash love story, but I would say that it's a growth story for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You then have Jeff Daniels, who's just gone, and Piper Perabo, who actually plays one of the hookers. I know this is going to sound completely like typical man, but you get to see Piper Perabo in nothing but a pair of boy shorts. It's worth seeing just for that. As everybody knows, I'm not that big into blondes, or really that big into Caucasian women. Everybody knows I love Latin and Asian women the most, but Piper Perabo, oh my God. As Usher would say, oh my God, yeah, killing it. Even Emily Blunt looked pretty good, which I'm not a fan of her at all, but even I thought she was looking good, so shout out to both of them. But it's really cool getting to see, and I don't want to give much away. There's so much about this that I don't want to give away because there's a lot of twists that you don't see coming, and some action that is just incredible action. Some of the most awesome, on-point action I've seen in a while. And it really poses the question of how much are you willing to risk for what you love, or for what you feel is yours, or for what you feel you can change. So really, really impressive movie. One of the better movies I've seen this year without a doubt. And you know what? I am giving it 4.5 stars. No quarter stars here. I'm going 4.5 for Looper. Definitely let me know what you guys think. I've heard some people were like, oh, I didn't get it, which it is. I mean, it's not that difficult to understand, but there are some elements you've got to stay, paying attention. You can't go off and go into the bathroom, whatever. You've got to be there in the movie, because there are some things that happen that do require, some focus, if you will. But overall, I thought it was a really well done movie. I really think you guys would like it if you check it out. If you like action flicks, if you like Bruce Willis flicks, if you like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I definitely say check it out. It was also cool to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the work they did on his face, because essentially he's playing Bruce Willis. He's playing a young Bruce Willis. So they did some awesome things, and big shout out to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he did a great job with some of the stuff and really reenacted Bruce Willis. Like, there were things, and I even heard a funny story in filming, that there were a few times that Bruce Willis would just kind of look at him, be like, good job. Like little things like that, like giving him a shout out for portraying him. So definitely thought it was well done. Definitely recommend it. It's going to be one that I buy and check out again as soon as it comes out. If I get through all the rest of the movies I want to see in the theater, I might even go see it again. I liked it that much. So great action, great story. I mean, great. It was a great action flick, point blank period. So let me know what you guys think on both the flicks, especially Looper, as I like that one more than Argo, but they're different flicks. You can't really compare them at the end of the day. They're just that different of flicks. So let me know what you guys think of both movies and how they stack up. And let me know if you guys have seen anything else recently that I should go check out. Haven't been able to see as many movies out in Vegas, but I got to get into that habit a little bit more. So hopefully I'll be checking some out soon. But let me know what you guys think of those two, and if there's anything new that has come out. And as always, thank you guys for checking out my videos. So I promise next week we'll be back to the normal Friday movie reviews. Had to change it up this week. Didn't get like I said, didn't get to watch them. So bear with me and come back again next week for our normal weekly movie review. As always, I am Matthew Maley. This is MatthewMaley.com. And thank you guys for checking everything out. Of course, you can check out the rest of my videos on MatthewMaley.com. Check out the current video blog tab for all this year's videos, as well as previous video blog tab for everything from 2010 and 2011. You can also check out my YouTube page. Just search for Matthew Maley Poker, where you can like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out directly up on Facebook. I am at Matthew Maley Poker. I post all my videos there, as well as a bunch of new big bulletin messages, so check me out there. You can also check me out on Twitter. I am at Matthew Maley, always tweeting about all kinds of stuff. I admit it, I'm not the best on Twitter. I'm kind of a sporadic tweeter where I'll tweet nonstop for like 2 or 3 days, and then I will tweet for 4 or 5, then I'll get back on for 5 days, and then off for 3. So I'm not the best yet, but bear with me. And finally, check me out up on Instagram. I am at Matthew Maley Poker, always posting up pictures up on there, so come check out what I got to put up. And throw me a like, comment, follow me, whatever. So until the next video, I'm officially signing off. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I'm officially heading back to Vegas. I miss it. I'm dying to play some cards. Finally have a little bit of money put together. So you will be seeing some poker recaps coming up soon, as well as some new sneaker collection editions and all kinds of other fun stuff. So until the next video, I am signing off. Peace out, everybody. Stay up. Have a great weekend. Peace. And it's XO till I OD.